Hey, what is up you guys? Welcome back to Throwback Thanksgiving week. If this is your first time checking in this week, I am posting a tutorial using a palette that is 1 year old or older every single day this week. Today's palette is the Juvia'S Masquerade palette, and I'm doing something a little different with this palette. I'm using the neutrals. I've done a lot of colorful tutorials with this palette and no neutral tutorials with this palette, and the neutrals in here are really great as well. Juvia'S just has awesome eyeshadow, so I'm doing this very like blown out like bronze and neutral eye look. It's very simple, very great for everyday wear. So if the colorful shadows in here aren't your total cup of tea, or you just like don't like to reach for them on a regular basis, or if you have similar neutrals to these in another palette, which you probably do because duh, they're neutrals, you can easily follow this along. And just as a reminder, I am also running a giveaway all week long and into the next week, so if you want details on that, make sure you check the link out in the description box to enter that. If you're new here, I would love to have you subscribe, join the Throwback Thanksgiving week party, and let's go ahead and jump into the tutorial. Alrighty, I have my Juvia'S Masquerade palette, and I'm starting out with the shade Burkina, which is the lightest medium brown in the palette. And I'm going into that with a BH number 11, my usual transition brush. Already have my eyes primed with Milani Primer Potion, and I'm starting in the outer corner of my eye, using big swirly motions and swirling this on outwards. So just kind of like a very blended circle at the corner of my eye. Once that's down, I'm going into the shade Fulani, which is a slightly darker medium brown, using an AOA Studio E126 brush. And I'm pretty much doing the same motion, just a little more concentrated. So this is just adding some definition to the outer corner, but we still want to like keep it nice and blended and chill. Once that's nice and blended, I'm going into Casablanca, which is this bronze shade, and I'm using a Wet n Wild crease brush, and I'm placing that in the center of the lid, and I'm also kind of doing a swirling motion, so like tap on the center of the lid to like get that nice shiny bit, but then just kind of swirl it out from there so it fades really nicely into the matte brown shades and upwards. If you're wanting like a little more shimmer, a little more intensity out of that bronze, you can always like go back in, wet the brush, and tap it right on the center of the lid, or go over it with the finger. I don't really feel like I need that for this look today, so I'm not going to do that, but it's just an option. And now I'm going into the shade Gina, which is this lightest pearly, champagne-y, peachy, I don't really know, light shimmer shade. I'm using an AOA Studio E128, which is like rounded and slightly fluffy. And I'm going into the inner eye, and kind of the same little vibe we did with the bronze, just like tap it down and then swirl it out gently. Like you want this to fade upwards and you want this to fade into the bronze. So just kind of like end up being a gradient of like matte brown to bronze to this like light pearly inner eye shade. So just to really get that blend, going back into the Wet n Wild brush. I haven't added any new color. This is just whatever was left over. And I'm really swirling that edge in between the bronze and the pearl shade. And so just a clean blending brush. I'm using it to blend upwards as well. This is the brush that I used Felina on, and I'm just blending that edge more. So yeah, it just fades nice and easy. You can't tell really where one ends, where the other begins. Nothing's like harsh, very, very natural blown out look. That's what we're going for. That's all we're doing on the upper eye today. So I'm gonna do some face makeup and I'll be right back. All right, my under eyes today is gonna be boring like usual. I don't really like doing a lot with my under eyes. I'm taking this Luxie 141 mini rounded brush, going back into Burkina, and I'm just gently dragging that along my lashes to get just a little bit of a blown out brown shade there. And I'm just adding a touch more of Fulani to the outer corner. And now that I have my base makeup on, I'm bringing Giza into the inner corner and underside of the inner corner as well. I didn't add a whole lot to the brush though, so it's just like really, really subtle, nice inner eye highlight there. And I'm also going to use Giza as my face highlight today. This looks so pretty as a face highlight. It's like my perfect like light champagne-y neutral shade. I know Juvia'S place does have like actual loose highlighters. I've been debating picking them up. We'll see if I ever do. Alright, and this is the final look for today. It's very bronze, blown out, simple, something different from my usual, especially using that specific palette. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and remember I'm posting new tutorials using old palettes every single day this week, and I'd love to have you join me. So hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye!